Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Mr. Hussein Masapi, and in today's video we'll be looking at factors that affect the reaction rate. Alright, so before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Alright, so this is a very simple subtopic under chemical kinetics, which involves the factors affecting the rate of a reaction. Now we basically only have like 4 main factors, and those are the ones that we're going to discuss. Alright, let's begin. So the first one we'll look at is called the physical state of water, the reactants. Now, be mindful that if you have a reaction, say A reacting with B, producing C, A and B are what we call the reactants. Now, talking about the physical state implies that we're looking at these reactants in terms of either being solid, liquid, or gas. So we need to understand the physical state of the reactant in order for us to know if the reaction will either be fast or slow. Now, one thing you should understand is this. Every time you visualize the physical state of the reactants, think of it in terms of the mobility of particles in space, how the particles move in solids, liquid, or gases. So, in a nutshell, you can say the more collision that you have within these reactants, the more rapid the reaction will be. So more collision results in what? More rapid the reaction gets. Therefore, if you try to distinguish among solid, liquid, or gases in terms of the mobility of particles, you'd find that solid particles, to say, are not as mobile as compared to liquid or gases. So gases have a greater mobility as compared to liquids, and liquids have a greater mobility as compared to solids. So if the reactants are in the state of gases, you will expect the reaction to be fast. If they're in terms of a liquid, they could be fast, but not as fast as gases. But the solid state is the one that is very slow. In fact, it's the slowest. If the reactants are in the solid states, then we say the reaction is very, very slow. Be mindful of this. So the more collision, the higher the reaction rate. Let's move on to the second one. So we also have the reactants concentration. So every time you look at the term concentration, we're trying to look at it in terms of how much of the quantity of the reactants are present. So the more concentration you have, the higher the reaction rate. So more concentration gives you more rapid reaction. This is very simple to understand. So the higher the concentration, the higher the reaction rate. Then if we look at reactions temperature talks about how hot or cold something is. So in terms of reaction rate, we're trying to look at it in terms of how much kinetic energy is created as a result of the heat produced by any source. So this implies that the higher the temperature, the higher the kinetic energy, because kinetic energy is what allows particles within a particular state to move either fast or slow. That's in terms of the level of kinetic energy. So the more kinetic energy, the more rapid the reaction will be. So this means that the higher the temperature, the higher the reaction rate. Alright, let's talk about the last factor, which is the presence of a catalyst. Now, one would ask to say, what is a catalyst? Now, a catalyst is just something that speeds up a chemical reaction by lowering the activation energy which is needed to break the bonds for a reaction to begin or start or even occur, to say. So in terms of the presence of catalysts, we would say that the lower the activation energy, the lower the activation energy, the more rapid the reaction will be. So a catalyst is just something that provides an alternative path for a reaction. So it will make a reaction fast. That's in simple terms. So be mindful of this. The lower the activation energy, the higher the reaction rate. So we have discussed about 4 main factors that affect the reaction rate, and all these have been understood. So the first one is physical state of reactants. Remember, the more collision, the more rapid the reaction. So the higher the collision, the higher the reaction rate. The higher the concentration, the higher the reaction rate. The higher the temperature, the higher the reaction rate. The lower the activation energy, the higher the reaction rate. Alright, thanks for watching. My name is Mr. Hussein Wasapi. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions, contact me on WhatsApp using this number, the number in my description. And remember to strategize before you become a statistic. Let's try and push for that A+.